Hello, this is Eddie Boulay, and welcome back to Black American Lineage. Thank you for going on this journey through our past and our present. And today I'm talking about Matthew Henson. But before I talk about the past, I want to talk about the present. We are under attack as a group. We are always under attack, but sometimes it's more obvious than others. And it's going to take us keeping our focus, not getting upset, not becoming emotional, but speaking truth to power. That is what we have always done when we've had good leadership. On my other channel, I did play a part of Gary Chambers Jr. speaking to the Louisiana legislature. Some of you follow me on my other channel. It's not the same speech, but it's a part of that speech. And I do want you to hear that because it was people like Matthew Henson who fought racial barriers that we're still fighting today. Matthew Henson was born in 1866, the year after slavery ended. Slavery ended in 1865. And here we are in 2026 trying to vote for the people that we want to vote for. And this Project 2025 and Donald Trump are playing the same old games that their ancestors played in 1876. Really, that's what it is. So, anyway, let's listen to Gary Chambers.
You've got a vote to make in order to do what you feel you need to do for the governor and your politics. But your state ranks number 50 in the nation because you continue to do these things. We rank number 50 in the economy, number 50 in crime. You can shake your head, Representative. Number 46 in education, number 44 in healthcare, number 48 in infrastructure, number 49 in natural environment. But you got time to take away clerks of court seats. Your priorities are jacked up, and your state continues to lose as a result. But you're proud. You're proud Republicans, proud conservatives. You're Reconstructionist. You're Reconstructionist, and it's racist. And every one of your votes reflect your moral character and the lack thereof. Now, I go to church just like you all. I don't know if we read the same Bible. Do good, seek justice, help the widow, the orphan, the oppressed, and the poor. Isaiah 1:17. Now, you can strip up the Constitution of this state. You can restructure New Orleans all you want, but you're losing even your own voters. Because last year, you lost every constitutional amendment you sit out the Capitol. Every one of them. In your own districts. And you came back down here again, playing Jeff's game. Now he wants to be president. And some of y'all won't even be representatives following along with the governor. If you believe in local representation, like I know most of you truly do, you wouldn't be meddling in this local community. But it's a majority black community. And you don't do this anywhere else in the state, which shows it's racist. I don't need data to show me the history of Louisiana. Every legislature that has ever existed in this state has been under majority white control. And you still haven't found a way to get yourselves out of the bottom 10 ranking. Georgia beats you every year. Why? Because they don't have a problem with black people prospering. The government is a job farm. You all are opening up prisons in rural parishes to create jobs for your constituents and trying to take away Calvin Duncan's job in New Orleans, where he creates jobs for black constituents. The prosperity of this state continues to decline because you lack the vision to lead us forward. This is a waste of the voters' time, and I know you're going to vote the way you want to vote anyway. But I wanted to look you in your faces and tell you this is weak, self-serving, and cowardice, and you're Reconstructionists, and history will remember you.
Now, he is talking to a brick wall because when a black man is talking to a bunch of old white men, and that's what that is there, you're really talking to a brick wall. They don't care that they go down in history as racist, as prejudiced, and as really not wanting to see black people progress. But when black people don't progress, guess what? White people don't progress either. They might be doing okay because they are doing all kinds of crooked and scamming and everything else in those legislatures, I believe. But their constituents aren't doing any better. But Black Alabamians have a saying: white people don't care if they don't have anything. They just don't want us to have anything. But we do. We do. And we will continue to thrive. But I think it's important for us to pinpoint this moment because this is a very important moment in American history. These state legislatures, with the help of the Supreme Court, are really not, they're not taking away our right to vote because we can still vote, but they have diluted our vote through gerrymandering by putting us in white districts where we are the minority and they are the majority. And so the candidate that they want to win wins. And we have to call this what it is. It is a cheap and unfair way for them to stay in power because they are afraid that if they don't cheat, they won't win. Matthew Alexander Henson was one of the most accomplished Arctic explorers in American history and is widely recognized today as the first person to reach the geographic North Pole on April the 6th, 1909. Now, he was an explorer. We've talked about inventors, we've talked about designers, we've talked about architects, we've talked about doctors, we've talked about medical inventions, but now we're talking about the explorers. Now, why are we talking about Matthew Henson? Because for the longest, they said he was the second person to reach the North Pole. But then they had to come back and clear it up. He was the first person to reach the North Pole. Now, this is a big deal in explorers' language because white people like to say that they were the first. Matthew Henson was born on August 8, 1866, in Nannymoy, Maryland, to free black sharecroppers. Now, I'm sure I didn't pronounce his hometown correctly, but he was born in Maryland to free black sharecroppers. After becoming an orphan at a young age, he left home at 12 to work as a cabin boy on the sailing ship Katie Hines, where he learned navigation, seamanship, and survival skills. These early experiences shaped him into a world class explorer long before he ever saw the Arctic. Matthew Henson became an experienced explorer. He eventually met up with Robert Peary, who was a known Arctic explorer at the time, and they went on 23 expeditions to the Arctic together. Matthew Henson was such a good explorer that Robert Peary made him his first man, which means he was the best one that he had. Matthew Henson spent quite a bit of time at the North Pole learning the language of the people, the Inuit Eskimo people, learning dog sledding, and he mastered the skills so much that he stayed there for a while and became involved with one of those Eskimo women in which he fathered a child. On the 1908 through 1909 expedition, the final team consisted of Matthew Henson, Robert Peary, and 4 Inuit hunters. Matthew Henson later stated that he was the first of the group to physically reach the pole, with Peary arriving shortly after. Although Peary received most of the credit at the time because he was white, later research and historical reassessment have affirmed Henson's central role. National Geographic and other historians now widely recognize Henson as the first man to stand at the top of the world. And of course, he was a black man. Matthew Henson published his memoir, A Negro Explorer at the North Pole, in 1912, documenting the journey and his experience. Because he was black, They did not want to give him the honor of being the first man to reach the North Pole. So he wrote his own book and documented his trip. So that is considered fact. When you can document your day to day activities, whenever you can put the date, the time, the year, the place, that is considered fact. And nobody can argue with you. Plus, Robert Peary said he was the best explorer. He eventually got the recognition that he had earned. But because he was black, they tried to take it away from him and give it to the white man. So, what I'm saying is that even in 1909, when this man had done something extraordinary, they tried to take it away from him. Just like they always try to take something away from us. But guess what? Right is going to win. Right is always going to win. So we have to make sure that we are doing right and that we document what we do. Just like Gary Chambers did in Louisiana, that's documentation. That's fact. We just have to stay on the side of documentation and fact, do what is right ourselves, and right is going to win. We are going to win as long as we do right. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening and let me know what you think about the video. Have a good day.